this one is really going to extend the budget of the fan. Look, at great expense. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Walters, fold-out chair.
Yes, look, I love these, mate.
Back in the role of media, but here before us is one of the greats of the game. Kevy, I hope you appreciate that sentiment. We mean that sincerely.
Yeah, I do. I'm grateful for your kind words, but I really don't put myself in that category. I play with some great players.
Yes.
And I've been fortunate enough to be in some great teams myself and contributed to that team, but not at that elite level where some of our players are.
All right, but it's still an extraordinary rugby league story, and I'm here to probe you, Kevy.
It's a good story.
OK, I'm here to probe you, and we've had Kerrod in the fold-out chair before.
Yeah.
Steve's achievements enormous.
You put Steve in one of these?
Steve hasn't been in the chair.
No.
So we're working our way through the family.
OK.
But how close were you as brothers?
Very close. Yeah, we sort of all had each other. Obviously, I'm a twin, so everywhere I went to, everything that I did, I always had someone there really close to me. Kerrod and I obviously got a really strong relationship, and I had with all my brothers. You know, and Andrew was a year older, Stephen was 2 years older, and then Brett was 4 years older. So we're all 5 kids under 5, Mum. Yeah. So we're all very tight through everything. Success
comes pretty quick. Like, you are part of the first grand final win, 89, and without knowing what's ahead of your career, that must have been about as big and as good as it could possibly get.
Well, it was huge. And that was the last grand final at the SCG, so I just remember...
87 grand final, the 87 grand final first. Yeah, that's right, the beaten grand final.
The beaten grand final, and then moved across the road for the following. Actually, the 87 grand final I remember particularly because I went up and sat in the stands with Don Ferner and Wayne Bennett to watch the game. It's the last time this ever happened.
Yeah.
And I know you love your stats, Mossy, and you like your history of the game. So I sat in the grandstand for the first half. And so to start the game, I was going to walk out in the field, and Wayne grabbed me and Don said, no, you come upstairs and sit with us and have a real good look at the game, you know. Yeah. So I thought, oh, OK, and I marched up there, and there's my little chubby face, you know, on the screens when they go up to the cameras and up to the coaches. And then the second half I got on, Mal had a broken arm, and but I was just pinching myself. Like, I just couldn't believe it was all true. And then we get to 89, back there again, and I was managed to get on the field again. I was a replacement again, and it's just an amazing feeling.
All right, it's a huge revolution for the game, though, early doors in your career, because there isn't a Gold Coast, there isn't a Cowboys, there isn't a Broncos.
No.
You know, they come into being in 88 when you're at Canberra.
Yeah.
Now they're in. Now they're
back in.
Yeah, they're finally in, and you get a chance to go to the Broncos. Was that a hard decision, or was that just bang? I've got to go.
No, it wasn't. It was a hard decision, but I like looking at the facts sometimes when you make decisions and getting all the information. It wasn't just I'm going. So I looked, and I had Ricky Stewart and Laurie Daly sitting in front of me. I thought, well, they're going to be there for a while, I reckon.
Yep.
Where's my opportunity come? So then the Broncos opportunity came up. Wally was the current 5'8", and Alfie was a halfback, where I thought maybe I could sneak my way in there somewhere in a year or two's time, but I didn't think immediately that there'd be action there.
OK, so where does Alf come into the picture? Where's your first meeting with Alan Langer? Is it real early in your childhood?
Yeah. I think Kerrod and I were 5, and Alfie was 6. We were 5 turning 6. And my brother Andrew used to play all the junior football against Alfie's team over at Alpha's at North, we were Swiss, and Drewy's team was short one day, so Kerrod and I played up. They just stuck us on either wing, you know. Yeah. And I remember this little blonde kid playing for Norths.
How good.
And I think he scored 5 or 6 tries that day, and Kerrod still, I can't remember him saying this, but he says that standing under the goalpost at one stage through the game, Kerrod said, that blonde kid, he's going to play for Australia, surely he's that good.
Wow.
You know, and sure enough, they both played together.
As a rugby league fan, first and foremost, rather than commentator or media, I and so many others loved your association with Alfie on the field. 6 and 7. 6 and 7 playing alongside of each other, not right side, left side.
No, there was none of that.
Quick taps, all of that. All of that play. Now, so is that honed from a very early age?
An understanding, certainly. And I'm going to give myself, I don't usually like giving myself raps here, Bossy, but I'm going to give myself a rap here now. I could understand Alfie more than anybody else on the field. So when we played together, he made me look so much better. And I, in fact, believe that I helped his game, whereas at different times for Queensland and also Australia, Alf didn't play his best football. And Alf was so so good to play with. Like, things just happened around him, and if you were smart enough, which I felt I was, you just had to put yourself in the right position, and he would just open things up for you, you know. Little kicks.
Yeah, the
everything,
little kick, the Alfie grubber.
The Alfie grubber, just chase that.
But we're here to talk about you, Kevin. We're here to talk about you, so let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
Okay.
You sit here as what, a 6-time grand final winner?
Yeah,
How does that go with you? How does that go?
I'm very proud of that. That's
How
one
good's
of
that?
Yeah, it's amazing. I never thought. I won a lot of premierships as a kid growing up, and but then to do it in the real world with the real stuff, it was just, I don't know, just got a real appetite for it, and I got myself into some really good teams over the years with the Raiders and then also the Broncos, and I don't know, I just loved it. You talk to anyone about winning premierships, it's the best thing in rugby league that you can do in my eyes.
Yeah.
I know people talk a lot about Queensland. I love playing for Queensland and I love playing for Australia, but for me the premierships was the one with your teammates and be there on grand final day and get the job done, you know?
I know on the playing front, you just said, you know, winning the premiership and all that, but as a fan of the game, the greatest Kevin Walters moment I saw was Wembley.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's a play where you make a move around, this is a World Cup winning try, and Kevin Walters reacts to something real quick. It's a big moment in your career that sets up a try that wins a World Cup.
Yeah, I've had two big moments at Wembley. Well, see, the first one was I met Joe Mangles in 1990 before the test at Wembley.
Okay.
You remember Neighbours, or you didn't watch Neighbours?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I just acknowledge I've been in a movie, Kev, so I can act. Yeah,
that's good. Well, you sold me on it.
Oh, Neville
and the
Mangles.
second one was that. So I didn't think I was going to get on. It was about 15 minutes to go. It was a really tight game, and a message came up to the sideline, rather, from Bozo, from upstairs, get John Cartwright ready. And Carty started warming up, and then he changed his mind and sent me on. I thought, oh, here we go. And we had Steve Renouf and I had a little play that we used to do, and the moment just opened up. And, I said to Steve, you know, 2 tackles before, I said, mate, we're coming back to you. Yeah. Get ready.
Oh, wow.
He said, what? I said, mate, just get ready. Do what you do. You'll be fine. And he was fine, by the way.
Mate. But you watch the high shot, it's like that. Yeah. It's react and go. Yeah. And it's magnificent. On a stage like that, Kevin,
well, it was amazing.
It's a dream.
It was a dream. It was a dream for me, and you know, even just to be playing for Australia, and then at Wembley in front of 70 or 80,000 people. Mum and Dad were in the crowd. The family was in the crowd, so it was just a really special moment.
Okay, here's the last two then. Just on coaching, one great shot. You're in the box as co-coach at Melbourne, assistant to Craig Bellamy, and he's going off. Remember that moment?
I do remember. It's clear as day.
How good's that?
I love my time in Melbourne. They're a great club and great people. And Bellamy's, him and Bennett, two of the best coaches of all time. But that was round one against Manly. I'm very sure. It's clear in my head. And the reason why Craig was getting upset because Sissa Wanga scored the try, but he didn't bring the ball around for the kicker. Right. And so he's yelling at me, you tell him next time he goes across. I said, he just scored, mate. That's funny. Let's celebrate, you know. We don't do that here. You just tell him. I said, no worries, Craig. It's done.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're there.
It's as good as done. And I'm thinking, man.
Well, Kevin, we've barely scratched the surface. Maybe there'll be a
That's all right.
part 2 on the fold-out chair.
We'll
come back another day. Little Benji the dog. You better pick up Benji.
Yeah, come on,
Benji. Make a little cameo. Been very well behaved, folks. Kevin Walters and Benji on the fan and the fold-out chair. Well done.
Just be careful, mate. You might lose an arm here.
Yeah,
This dog is vicious. Yeah.